Hi, my name is Lawrence. I'm the author of Financial Freedom Through Property. And what I do for a living is focus on buy-to-let investments that are cash flow positive from day one. A part of my channel is also to do live deal analysis, and I've had a request by a subscriber called Kyle. Shout out to you. Thanks for requesting this to review a deal in WYNBERG, Cape Town. Now, if you followed some of my stuff before, you know that I speak very highly of the Joburg, Gauteng area when I'm looking at cash flow positive investments, and I don't speak that highly when I'm talking about the Western Province, the Western Cape. And the reason is because the yields are just not high enough, specifically in your upper or suburban type areas. So I was excited when this request came across my YouTube channel. And by the way, you can in the comments below put a deal that you want me to review. Just send me the Property 24 link so that I've got something to work with. And we're going to have a look at this deal in WYNBERG. I do think that it has some merits. It's one of the few deals that I've seen so far where the gross yield to some extent makes sense. So here we're on the Property 24 of this specific property. So this is the first time I'm looking at these pictures, so I wanted it to be a fresh discussion. So what I'm seeing here is that it's recently been renovated, right? So everything looks clean. It looks like potentially it was a distressed apartment. Someone came in, completely cleaned it up, and now it's in really good condition. It's tenantable as is, so I wouldn't estimate any renovation costs for this one. Maybe just a good clean. Okay. It looks pretty good. This is the kind of investment you want to be looking at, right? It needs to be dense population, and it needs to be in your inner cities, your low income market. So 227 Main Road, WYNBERG, 370,000. Currently tenanted to the 30th of September 2022 for 4750. Okay, currently tenanted, but there's no photos of the current tenant. So I would just want to vet that with some sort of proof. A signed lease agreement or something would be critical for me to, have confidence in that number. But if we look at just that rental figure of 4750 times 12 divided by 370, which is the asking price, times 100 gives us a gross yield of 15.4%, which is powerful. That's a good sign. I usually say anything above 15% has the potential of being cash flow positive. But that's on 370, right? And one of the other principles that, I hammer into you guys is buy at a discount. You have to buy at a lower market value. So if they're asking 350, you probably want to get away with 300, 320. Then you're getting a good deal. Let's see if there's any levies. So levies of 1.6, that's quite high. Rates and taxes 1.31. So we've got enough information now to run the numbers. So I'm just using the My Property app to run through this deal. So it is an asking price of 370,000. I'm going to probably go in at 320. Let's see. That's a 13% discount. Usually between 10 and 20%. That's where I like to be. I don't know the Cape Town market so much, but in Joburg that's pretty reasonable. I have done a couple of deals in 2021 where I got 30% discount, but it was, I would say, COVID and just the right time to be a buyer. If we look here at the rental information, so the rent they're saying is 4750. I'm just going to assume that that's correct. Remember, we do want to always vet, and we always want to double check everything that an agent provides us with. Next, we need to look at our buying costs, so the cost of actually transferring this property into our name. So we'll say here 320,000 Rand is the purchase price, and let's say we're going to get a loan of 280. Say a sectional title building, the seller's not registered for VAT, and we're going to buy it in a company because that makes the best sense. So roughly 31,000. I always put a bit of a buffer in, so I'll go 35,000. I'll add it to the bond and transfer costs. Next, we've got the renovation costs. Like I said, maybe I'd put a little bit of money into cleaning. I'd put maybe 5 grand into professional fees for some deep cleaning, but otherwise it looks like it's in good condition. Your other costs, things like evictions and planning application, I assume none of that's really applicable here. Let's go with an 80% loan to value, add a 9% interest rate over 20 years. Go to our cash flow. So our levies in this scenario was quite high. It was 1603. Again, we want proof of that, so some sort of levy statement would be important. 131 for rates and taxes. So you want to see a City of Cape Town kind of utility bill. Insurance will be 0 included in the levies. Voids, so let's put an 8% delinquency rate, meaning that we're going to cater for 8% of the time the property being empty because of delinquent behavior. As you go into the lower income market, delinquent behavior, and that goes hand in hand. Management fee, we want to pay an agent probably 8%, and maintenance provision 8% to keep it in good nick. And then we're maybe going to pay for water and electricity. That would be here and other. Okay, so the cash flow here on the numbers I've provisionally put in is minus 484. You can take away the management, make it 0, and then you sort of more break even. Yeah, so I mean, this is probably a great reason why I advocate more the Gauteng market as opposed to Cape Town. Maybe if we get a bigger discount, let's go back here and put in an offer of 280. That's a 25% discount. Whether they'll accept that, I'm not sure. We go back to our cash flow, and yeah, we hit the positives now, again with no management. So you have to manage it yourself. If you put the 8% in there, it's going to kill the deal. So a little bit tight on the numbers. Your ROI, if you manage it yourself, is 3%. Yeah. So all in all, I wouldn't say that this is the kind of property that I would advocate. I think it has potential to be, a cash flow neutral kind of investment, and probably relatively safe, depending on, that you get your vetting of your tenant right and that you place in the right tenant. That's always critical with these kind of deals. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe, click the notifications button so that every time new content is released, you're on it. We'll be doing a video every week, so some exciting stuff. If you want more deals to be analyzed, send me the Property 24 link. I'm happy to do these kind of videos and share my knowledge along the way. Until next time, happy investing.